dibanji watu wa WizKid ne tuzala wane tubireka kati WizKid na ne tusigala naye ne tugenda naye ne ku hotelo yaffe nga WizKid gwe tutuma byenjogera sirimba WizKid hey WizKid chotaga bu vesti enajira babugulawa babada because it just around the corner biubano za nimba njagala ufune ne Jeff okimubuuza Jeff kiwa okay my brother nga tukawa center awo ne kadduka nikagenda nikalita vesti WizKid twelabidde Colgate it's okay my brother I swear buuza Jeff oboloza nkulimba munange WizKid ne tukikomyawo twaita emyezi mwaka gumu myezi mukaaga we watyo nga WizKid ye number 1.
Eno story ya Weasel emaze I think the entire denge training ku X nga abantu bangi of course mulimu obangambe abaana abato ba Gen Z nga doubting mu comment section nga bagamba nti Weasel WizKid it brought back so many memories. Nzijukira I think nali mu senior either 1 or senior 2 bread and butter oba P7 vacation bread and butter oyafulumira bana abami Weasel rest in peace radio there was something else. Of course ojja kusangayo some young boys and girls abagenda okulowooza nti Weasel ayogera ebintu bino just for the sake. We are talking about one of the most iconic duos in Africa in the name of the late Mowzey Radio, rest in peace, and Weasel. Bana abami bakwata music industry bajja ku scene ng'omuntu oyinza okugamba nti they burst onto the scene out of nowhere. Of course bali bakoze hard work in the background. Weasel yali ayimbye, Radio yali ayimbye, they had done their work naye they formed an iconic duo eyakyusa obulamu bwaffe mu kaseera ako. I can place an argument nengamba nti mu ggwanga we shall never see the likes of Radio and Weasel. We shall not. Waliwo akaseera bwekatuuka nga abayaye bakuba oluyimba wiiki eno next week ne bakuba oluyimba yutopinga olubaddewo wiiki ewedde nga kiri constant ne bakikola almost for 6 consecutive months. There was something else. So Weasel yazze n'anyumya olugero nti WizKid kali kaana kato nga bakatuma ku maduuka naye fast forward mu 2026 olaba nti WizKid he's the epitome of Afrobeats, he's the epitome of a musician mu Africa. What went wrong? Ki ekyawaba? I think it's a case of how someone can define success. Ebiseera ebisinga omuntu okubeera successful weetaaga ekisima. I know ojja kundaba ogambe nti hard work yokayoka nedda. Tukimanyi bulungi from history abantu nga Thomas Jefferson yakola a very perfect statement. Nagamba nti the harder I work, the luckier I become. Kugamba ebiseera bingi nnyo okufuuka successful, yes, hard work plays a role. And I'm sure so many of us are hard working. Naye weetaagamu element eyo eya luck. Being in the right place at the right time. If the late Radio was still alive, no one will ever know. Because Katonda yasalawo. Bana abami ababiri, if they had stayed together for up to 2026, mugwango oyinza okugamba nti bandi badde eri. Of course, after the late Radio dies, Weasel ayita mu hardships ezitagambika. Va ku bino, the drama that happens, tujja ku internet, and we make fun of the drama. But put respect on his name. Fe abaliwo, kanjogera nga legend. Fe abaliwo, we saw what these guys did. Nti mu kaseera ako, okugera ku WizKid, it was nothing. Bread and butter, Zwena nakudata, bana abami, they were something else. Nabadde ndaba story eyo, oba clip eyo, and I was full of smiles. Because I know I know mukasera ako waitosa kunyumya mu Nigeria. Let me generalize. Of course mwalimu abali bakuba music nayenga these guys were massive, especially in East Africa, East and Central Africa, and Southern Africa. There was something else. Weasel, you gave us memories, Muganda Wang. So when Bade ku extend in the comments, some people trying to discredit this. Nengamba sako kamera. Put respect on people's names. And learn to respect or give credit where credit is due. Weasel and the late Radio, may his soul rest in eternal peace, was an iconic duo. Duo eyakola ebintu ngeye nkugambe that I think we shall never see in our country. Nemukasera can you can struggle to find people who can do what they did. Ninga ate myaka jiseo. Do I believe this story? 1,000% I do, because I know what these guys represented. Echena kunti oyinza ogamba nti oba bali mu Uganda. Ngeye nkugambye nti omuntu okubeera successful mu kintu kyonna kyonna, number one, weetaaga ekisima. Of course ogenda kussaamu amaanyi. All of us work hard. But you need that aspect of luck. Tekikomaawo. Waliwo akatabo bakayita unfair advantages. Kawandiikibwa abavubuka babiri, Hassan and Ali. Badefining kye bayita Mowzey framework. Mowzey acronym for money, intelligence, location and luck, education and status. Location and luck. Kwegamba wantu wobeera mu kaseera kano gy'ondabira can define how successful you become in life. Kankoze example ya music. Mu ggwanga lyaffe we have so many musicians. Ng'oyinza okugamba singa they were in Nigeria, singa tonyumya Burna Boy, singa tonyumya WizKid. Very many. Naye, because of location, being in a country that doesn't push talent, does not promote success in any fashion, oyinza okugamba nti the environment itself ekukota okugera. Of course, mujjamu politics, location, saagenda mu politics, but we all know what I'm talking about. Chikatinga cross like businesses. Nti the similar business you're doing right now in Uganda, wogenda mu America n'ogikola. Wogenda mu, for example, Kenya n'ogikola. Ojja kubisaamu emikisa gye gy'okusucceedinga. Location matters a lot. So, the late Radio and Weasel, oyinza ogamba nti they hit somewhere close to the ceiling or the roof, naye they would have even shot even much further into the clouds, singa bali mu ggwanga nga the country promotes them, nga environment allows them to succeed, they would have been mu language yaffe international. Massive respect for those two guys. Mu kaseera ako nga Weasel wakugambye, WizKid was nothing. Yali atandika butandisi. And I can go ahead and argue yatasobola kuba singa bali ku leveled ground. Yalina advantage nti he was Nigerian. Nigerian is strategic in terms of music and selling it to the West. Yalina soft landing, yalina ground kwatandikira. Yali planned musician. Planned in the sense nti NCA enabled him to do what he does. The politics in the area, the dynamics in the area enabled him to become a superstar over the likes of Radio and Weasel.
Akaya musajja go era radio yafiira nga WizKid agala mwongera ku tiimu ye wandika music nga bazunga bonna ne mugamba tondeka ne mbaga ngenda n'omuyimbi wange ebambi yafanga ye deal eriwo
WizKid mu meeting amutya. How do you get in touch with
WizKid? Tugenda twali Burundi ne Dibanji nga tuko show yemu ne Washington. Dibanji tumuswama chali waffe nga tulataka tu akolabo. Dibanji nagamba you come to Nigeria, we go work everything on me. The bank Coco Master. Chali waffe big up Dibanji tufuna MTV Awards zali Lagos.
Yes.
Tugenda tugamba Dibanji kuruno takola ki tabona. Tugenda Dibanji tumuchalire we Dibanji asanka oh my god I'm not that ibone wa matanta nyuma. Okay brother why you wanna you want some pain? Natunga Dibanji you know because ne watusuubiza twagala luyimba dimanya gamba I'm getting old. I don't want to sing anymore.
Of course mukasera ako the bunch bebali abanene
Sing no more. I don't want to sing no more.
Yagagawala.
I don't want to sing no more. Now it's going about kaka WizKid. Nange WizKid wakatobanika ngako. Nga WizKid yenkana bwatyo. WizKid nekajja. WizKid, come here. Nagamba, now me, I'm getting old. Sing with that boy. The boy go be a superstar. Netutunia dibanje yatugamba omusajja ona.
Pathu Ojiraba kinagambe kiri nti he was a planned musician nti ekkubo bali ggulawo dda nga gyalaga alabayo tubiraba mupiira ensinga Ivory Coast, Senegal nti they have superstars mu Premier League balina pathways eziri open ogende France, so they are players not because they are better than Ugandan players, their players have access to opportunities and that's what we lack. Kinagambe kiri location, our location a mattering nnyo. It dims over, it undermines our luck. We are hardworking in Uganda, we are hardworking in East Africa naye tetuyina pathway yo. So n'emikisa gyaffe, no matter the hard work, if you multiply emikisa times amaanyi g'oteekamu ka success kali wansi nnyo.
Tukimiye atwadde katabanike naffe ne tuzalawa ne tugamba atwagala dibanja naffe ne tuzalawa naye nga WizKid bambi naye alina bu headphones bwe abaayibulira obuyimba ng'ali mu busandozi ng'ayimba tugamba WizKid atwadde ka baby cake
bamwe obedde mwali mu approving addaggwa okutuuka okuba
kadinjiza ate mpa WizKid ka baby dibanja watwa WizKid ne tuzalawa ne tubireka kati WizKid ne tusigala naye ne tugenda naye ku hotelo yaffe nga WizKid gwe tutuma byenjogera sirimba WizKid WizKid chotagala bu vesti Nigeria babugulawa babada just around the corner bw'omanoza nimba njagala ufune ne Jeff okimubuuza Jeff kiwa okay my brother netukawa center awo ne kadduka nikagana kalita vesti WizKid twelabidde Colgate it's okay my brother I swear buuza Jeff oboloza nkulimba munange WizKid ne tukikomyawo twayitayo emyezi mwaka gumu myezi mukaaga we watyo nga WizKid ye number 1.
Take home message from all this: consistency. Show up. Kati nvuse motivational speaker. Consistency. Show up daily. Buli kimu kyokola. If you're a carpenter, obera plumber, obera YouTuber, TikToker, show up. Ngawe na gambye, the more times you show up, you define your luck. Jojo kikubireyo. Before you know it, maybe mukasera kano yinza okuba nga oli kiyambi. You're hoping out someone, but in 1 year and 6 months, ngawizi wakugambye, you might be the WizKid. Keep on showing up. Consistency. Manufacture your own luck. Still about music. Post yeyo. Kyengambe kiri nti our country does not promote the success of us as the locals oba Ugandans ebintu nga bino. Kigambibwa nti the government wants to introduce a new 6% withholding tax ku bayimbi, comedians and other entertainers abakola concerts ne bafunamu akasente mu ggwanga. Kyenva okuwunaku nga njogera ku story ya Weasel nti maybe one of the reasons why Radio and Weasel never shoot up to the clouds because of the location mwe baali, location ekola ebintu nga bino. Of course, I'm not against bantu kuwa musolo. I understand kiyambe eggwanga naye no musolo ogwo we don't see the products of the tax collection. Number one, people are struggling. Omuyimbi abona mu ggwanga, comedian ye ali anfuufu. Oyinza okugamba nti oba omuyimbi ye ali bulungiko naye there are few people who benefit from their talents. Then, problem where you introduce a 6% withholding tax. Kubi vulu, ne concerts ezenjawulo kwegamba any source of income jebayina. What does this mean? A withholding tax kwe musolo nti nkupangisiza oli muyimbi mbadde n'okuwa nusu 10. In this case 6% kitegeeza nti nja kukwata nusu 6, shilingi 6 nzisigaze. I withhold it kati gwe nkuwe kyenda mu nnya. Ekyenda mu nnya ekyo after financial yange ewedde ojja genda ku URL bagambe nti organizer yanzijjako ssente bwe ziti. Of course bajja kiwritinga off naye in the moment kijja kendeeza ne bookings. Of course kigenda take a burden kuba organizers because they have to increase everything now. Omuyimbi okukiryamu ajja kwongeramu akasente. Organizer alina okucharginga abazze okulaba even more. If the tax goes up tolowooza nti the entrance fee oba zobadde ospendinga ku kivulu zigenda kuka wansi nedda. Obulamu tebukola bwe butyo. Kigenda ku affectinga bookings abayimbi in the long run. Kigenda ku affectinga ba comedian especially bana abato. Taxes are not bad naye tukimanyi mu ggwanga lyaffe nti emisolo we don't see the products of those misolo. So government yagambye how are they going to effect this? Bagenda maaso ne bagamba nti no proposition eya 6% withholding tax egenda ku affectinga entertainers concert and show earnings. Ngaye nkugambye wokwata mu nsawo ya organizer alina okuhikinga prices asobole okukiryamu. Ne bagenda maaso ne bagamba nti kijja ku affectinga musicians, comedians, actors and other paid performers. Event organizers will deduct the tax before paying the bayimbi. Awo wagenda over drama nti omuyimbi will demand more to cover up the costs. Organizer will demand more. The long run is going to trickle down ku gwe nange agenda ku concert. What that means nti the numbers will reduce in the long run. Already mu ggwanga ebintu nga concert have been struggling. Oyinza ogamba nti it's been the main source of income y'abayimbi abasinga. Copyright yes eri mu kujja nga ebagamba. We are still waiting for the ways in which they are going to implement it. Naye nga already omusajja webera weighing scale atadde akazito ku side endala emu kyanaku nnyo naye awo wetuli tweyongereyo. UBC yakugambye nti yeetaaga 32 billion billion asatu mu bbiri okubroadcastinga AFCON 2027. What caught my attention nti they expect to make billion in return. So we expect a loss of 30 billion. Nga bagamba they are planning on buying equipment, rights, production and promotion across 11 stations. So investing 32 billion and you're making 2 billion. You're working in a loss already. Make it make sense. So why do it? Why even try to organize an AFCON in the first place in Gochimanyi? You can't afford it. Lwachi, why don't you forego it? Because it's evident we can't afford to organize competition yompid. The state of the hotels in the country, hospitality, mbinyo. Ebisaawe byakweyiya. Of course, siri kuzalawo wano, but njatu we realistic. If you're realistic enough, it's easy for you to tell nti you can't afford to organize AFCON. You can't. Okirabyeko nga UBC kugamba twagala billion asatu mu bbiri tujja kukola billion 2. Make it make sense. It doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense to even the blind. We don't need to organize AFCON for the country to prosper. No, we don't. If we can't afford, forgo it. Swallow the pride. Ebo watch to bitemeko. Ogambe, in this moment in time I can't afford. Maybe mubiri ana I'll be in position to host AFCON. You lose nothing. Naye olikuyingira kintu ng'okimanyi bulungi nnyo ogenda kukola loss ya billion asatu. Then why go ahead and do it? The math is not mathing. Naye, of course, tujja kukyesibako. We become a laughing stock. We shall become a laughing stock. Ensi yonna ejja beetulaba. Come 2027, if we are not careful, we shall become a laughing stock ku internet. Tujja kukola meme ez'enjawulo. Tweyongereyo. Our old friend, Uganda Airlines. In a video, I don't want to be negative. In a segment, saga kubeera negative. Kigambibwa nti windscreen eno y'omu. According to Daily Monitor, it shattered shortly after takeoff at Johannesburg. Nga ennyonyi ino kuba return eddeyo. Nga wenkugambye mulimu ebintu nga they happen in the country and we become laughing stocks. Nga abantu bajja tusekera. Already people are sharing this. Of course, someone in an office somewhere mu ggwanga ajja gamba lwaki mubyogerako. Why are you criticizing your country? You're painting a bad picture of the country. When the country itself does not do enough to sell itself. Ebintu nga bino. Okuli anti an airline of the entire country, the windscreen shattered. Temukola service. Don't you inspect ennyonyi zino? Ojja kungamba nti it was an accident, but siri expert in bintu bya nnyonyi. But I have an idea about how forces work and how strength works. Endabirwamu is a strong object. For it to shatter, why no kubao an area of weakness? Ngate area of weakness eyo, you could say something hit the windshield, but ebisera bingi nnyo area of weakness ebeeruddeo. Area of weakness ebaddewo for this to happen. It's like driving a car nga oyina crack mu windscreen. Soon or later, ejja cracking. Same thing happening here. And embeera okutuukawo, either something wasn't inspected oba okojja kungamba it was an accident. Ojja kungamba nti ekinyonyi kyazze ekikuba endabiramu ne kijaasa. Ojja kungamba nti mu bbanga wabaddeyo akayinja. I understand. But naye nkugambye ebiseera ebisinga obungi embeera okutuukawo, it's down to maybe lack of inspection. Maybe someone somewhere didn't do their job. Tiatwala budde ku inspectinga windscreen. Kulaba oba ina areas of weakness, oba ina mbu crack. Okutegeera nti this can pose a risk to the lives of people. Obyogerako, you're painting your country bad. Obyogerako, you're always negative. Obyogerako, you're an enemy of the country. No, we love our country. We are concerned. Chemanyi buli muna Uganda who saw this was scared. Because maybe I had a relative kwa yenyonyi. Because maybe Gwandava, you had a relative kwa yenyonyi, and the worst could have happened. So twogera ku nsonga nga zino, we don't hate our country. We don't. We love it. Chovola banti sijja n'okwogera ku Kenya. No, I don't. I don't have any feelings towards Kenya. Singa badde Kenya Airways, of course I would feel bad nti abantu they were at risk of crashing. A disaster nearly happened, but I don't have any emotional connection towards them. But Ugandans, of course I do. So nja kubyogerako. Not because I'm negative, not because I hate the country. No, I don't. I love my country. Chovola banti. I care so much to talk about some of these things. Stories ezo. Ebade crazy things happening in the country. Nja kusaba mpendo oza mu comment section wansawo. Ku bintu ebyenjawulo byenkonyeeko. Nja kula mu video dago. Peace.